what changes have come into warfare. Earlier, perhaps the center of gravity in the Gulf War was, or even against Libya or elsewhere, was the leadership.
That's right.
Now, is that still there? Because if Zelensky was taken out, would Ukraine, I mean, theoretically, hypothetically, would Ukraine have succumbed? I doubt it, because Ukraine was being supported by NATO and others also. So that center of gravity has perhaps changed now in terms of war.
Absolutely. So, the theory of center of gravity being, has come up before this Gulf War, the first Gulf War, when Colonel John Borden had proposed a theory called the five-ring theory.
Okay.
The center of which is the leadership. And it is protected by civil population, the, military industrial complex, and finally are the fielded forces.
Right.
So there are 5 rings, and there were 2 theories. One is you do a thing called what is something like an onion peeling. You break each layer till you attack the leadership.
Right.
That is the time when he proposed that the air power can target all 5 rings simultaneously.
Yeah.
So based
Because
on
of
that,
its distance, ability to cover distances, lethality,
the
everything.
typical characteristics of air power,
Air
that you
power.
can target all 5 rings
Together.
simultaneously and hit the leadership also.
Right.
So this was the basic concept on which the whole strategy of the Gulf War was based.
Right.
That we will use air power to target all 5 layers of the rings. But today, the whole concept of these 5 rings is changing very rapidly. In my opinion, today the center of gravity would be your critical information infrastructure, your networks, okay, and breaking the communication between the leader and the masses. Okay, so a breakdown of the communication between the military forces, between the politicians and the military, is now what I would reason as to being the center of gravity today.
Okay. So that's also because of the changed nature and technology, basically, because
exactly.
everything is dependent on the network-centric, or what they are now calling as data-centric warfare going forward.
So you see it's not just the military, the nation will come to a standstill if the critical information infrastructure is hit.
Right.
So protecting that becomes one of the most important tasks for the military.
Which I think the Russians have later started doing in the second half of the war. I mean, later they have targeting their electricity grids, their infrastructure in Ukraine.
Yes, that I think was also to make the lives of the population a little hard,
Miserable.
so that they start succumbing to the pressures and give up on living in, particularly in the Donbass region.
That's right.